Hey everybody, it's Andy. Welcome to Live Office Hours. It's Thursday. I'm here. Looks like you're here. Great to see everybody. Great to see everybody. Shuffle on in. Oh, wait. Think everything is looking pretty good. Just double checking. Hey, Kenneth Gomez from Perth, Australia. Charles, boot camper. Love that you're here too. Everybody, just chime in. I know we had some emailing issues this morning. Maybe we're going to have a lighter crowd than usual today. But that's okay. I'm here, you're here, and we're going to have a ton of fun. If you have not gotten it, I don't know how many of you are here yet. Interview intervention. I'm still shoveling out the book to the world for free. $29 book is yours. The $27 ebook and audiobook are yours for free. I also threw in How to Interview the Employer, 75 great questions to ask before you take any job. That's a $27 ebook. That's yours free. In the description, there's a link to this. Don't forget to grab yours because there is a limited number of copies. I ran out of the first 5,000. I ordered 2,000 more, but those seem to be going quickly. But I love my Live Office Hours, people, and I want to make sure you get this. All right, who's here? Hey, we said, hey, Sissy, how are you? D. Walker, great to see you. Emilia LaCivita, great to see you. Great to see you last night with Dad Giassi. Jennifer Matthew, Diana, Raj is here. Great to see you guys. Okay, everybody shuffling in. All right, so if you, I know a lot of you come in week and week out. You know how this works. We're going to spend about a solid hour or until you run out of questions. I'm happy to take whatever it is that you want to know. Do me a favor, just put some question marks in front of your question. Let me know a little bit about you, maybe what your function is, what your issue is, if it's not a standalone, and I will do my best to answer your questions. The other thing is, and as people are shuffling in, and some of you might have saw this, I just want to make mention of this, and I'll probably mention it just a couple of times. I'm not going to do a hard sell throughout the Live Office Hours because I really want to spend it on your questions. We did some evaluation of the Mile Walk Academy, the training programs we offer, the value of them. I did a lot of research. Prices are going up. So and they're going up in July. So the courses are all going to be more expensive than they currently are, and we're trying to get the right pricing. It's not, we can't always hit it on the first time we throw the dart at the dartboard, but we have a feeling that we're getting the prices dialed in where they should be from a value perspective. But before we do any of that, and I know we did this last week with the interview intervention course that's normally $247. I offered it for 60% off. I am offering that course again today for 60% off, so you can get it for $98. It's going to be $297 starting next week. And I'm also offering my resume course, which is normally $247, which is going up to $297. I'm also offering that for $98. So if you don't have those and you're interested, this is a great time to jump in because I think it's Monday or Sunday, they go up to $297. So please, if you're on the fence, take advantage of it. You get the courses, you get all the videos, you get coaching. You get a special coaching session for each of those in July, an interview-focused coaching session live with me, and a resume coaching session live with me. You also get 3 months ongoing coaching in my monthly membership program. With the interview course, you get a free book as well, free shipping and all that good stuff. One thing that I do want to also mention is you do get that ongoing membership in my monthly coaching, and you get 3 months for each of those, and both of those courses are 100% guaranteed. So if you want to take them for a test drive, if you don't like them for any reason, within 30 days, I'll give you 100% of your money back. I don't even ask questions unless you want to offer any feedback, but I do guarantee everything that I put out into this world. So I hope you take me up on that. I did not yet put the links in the chat. Kara, can you do me a favor and put them in the chat? There's also links in the description of this program. So hope that helps. I'm trying to get this out and into as many people's hands before I raise the prices. Okay, let's see who's got Oh, Barrel of Monkeys. Hey, Mark Peckney. Love that he's here. Enola, great to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Barrel of Monkeys, thanks for your thanks for your comments on the YouTube channel this week. Angela, great to see you here as well. Okay. Normally, oh wait, there's some other. Dave Wired's here. Davita's here. Thongi, if that's how you pronounce your name. Great to see you guys. Hey, who's going to start us off? Normally when I get in here, there's like 10 questions already built in. Fire away at me. There's what, we're up to almost 50 people now. Here we go. Nice W75. Thanks for the question and getting us rolling. Okay, this is awesome. I love this, love this. Okay, so as a preface, if you did not see the video that I just posted on Tuesday, actually I posted a video Tuesday morning called The Best Answer to What's Your Expected Salary. I posted a video this morning, actually 2 videos this morning. One was how to answer why you've been out of work for so long, or what have you been doing while you've been out of work for so long. It's 3 minutes. And I also put an inspirational little video challenging you to take an extra step in everything that you do today. So I ran an extra mile this morning. Everything that I'm doing, whatever it is, I hugged my wife for a little longer. I played with my dogs for a few minutes more. Anything that you do, take one extra step. So Nice W75 said, hello, Andy. I used your expected salary. Actually, it wasn't a range, but expected salary video in a chat with a senior recruiter. They switched it up by quoting very varied ranges in $10,000 increments, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, and asked me to choose. So, for those of you who did not see that video, the important thing about when you were asked, and I'm talking about verbally in the beginning of the session, or sorry, beginning of the process, not on your application. I've shot other stuff on that. When you get to the point where you're actually speaking with somebody and they ask you what's your expected salary, no good can come from actually giving them a number because it's uneducated. And so what I always prefer that you do is let them know that at this moment, it would be uneducated. I'm very interested in understanding your company, my role, what I get to do, who I get to do it with, the training opportunities, the career development opportunities, all the benefits, everything else that goes along with the value of working here. So at this moment, it would be very difficult and uneducated on my part to give you a number because that number would change based on all those other factors. So if and I'm interested in learning about those other factors, and I'm excited to start the process. And toward the end, I'm sure I'll be able to give you a more educated estimate of what I would like to earn. In your case, Nice W75, where they are making you choose, I would still say what I just said or some variation. I'm sure I said it more eloquently in my recorded video, and you can look at the captions for the exact wording that I used. But what I would do is I would say that, and I would say, if you're going to make me choose, I would like to share with you what my current salary is or what my current overall compensation is, and then you can use that as a guideline because I truly don't have expectations yet. I need to learn about your company, and I'm sure that you, when you learn more about me and the value that I can contribute, you will come up with a fair offer. And if we're right for each other, I'm sure we'll be able to come to something amenable. But you do not, trust me, you do not have to give them a number. And how do I know this? Because I've recruited for more than 200 companies. I've been a hiring official for more than 27 years in my lifetime. I can tell you when a candidate does not give a number specifically, if the recruiter likes the candidate's background and credentials, and it's a big deal in the recruiter's mind that you didn't give her or him any guidance, that recruiter will turn to the hiring official and say, I have this candidate, I like her background, she did not give me an idea of what her expected salary is, and the hiring official is going to look at the background and he's going to say, bring her in and we'll figure it out later. Trust me, there's not a recruiter in the world that actually determines what you ultimately get paid, unless, of course, it's the recruiter who's hiring for her own team. But that's how I would handle that. And if you are in a state or country that does not allow the employer to ask what your current salary is, I would still stick to my guns and I would not answer that question and I would not choose those options. I really would not. It's totally uneducated. And if you do choose those, the big risk that you run is you either price yourself out. So the recruiter can't determine at the moment that you're having this conversation whether you get hired or what you get paid. But the recruiter could kick you out if you give him or her information that's going to allow them to make that determination where you're priced way out. Or what's more likely to happen is you're likely to undercut yourself. And when you get down to the end and they love you and they say, well, you chose $60,000 and now you're changing your mind. That's likely what's going to happen. So I hope you understand that you need to defer responding because it is an uneducated it's an uneducated answer on your part. And as a matter of fact, I think it's ridiculous when hirers or recruiters ask you that question. It's actually very poor on their part as well. So I hope that helps. All right, great to kick us off. All right, Charles. Charles Dare is a boot camper, worked with JobScan. Charles' question, worked with JobScan. I found its resume optimizing recommendations do not agree with yours. I am following what you have told us. What is your advice? Charles, I don't know what specific recommendations you are referring to, but I am interested in knowing that, and I'm wondering if there's I want to know what they are and whether you are interpreting my recommendations and their recommendations correctly. So can you just go head to the bottom and then be very specific on what you think I mentioned or taught and what you think they are teaching. And I will be happy to address each one of those. And I'll just have Kara Slack me, and then at the next break in the questions, I'll just zip back. I'll zip back to that. Sue Simmons, great to meet you. The zombie review. Hey, I updated my LinkedIn, but the problem is that I haven't been in my career, oil and gas, because of a downturn in the industry. I put the job I'm currently working on, but it's not great. I don't know what the question. Oh, should I keep it there or does it look bad? No, I don't think that. I think you are where you are. And if you needed to take another job because you needed to, I think that's okay. If I remember correctly, you are the health and safety engineer that we had some back and forth last week. I would keep it. You are where you are. Kaven, great. Oh, from Zimbabwe, love it. Great to see you. Lisa Rodriguez, hope you are enjoying the Mile Walk Academy. Gajendra, I'm sure going to try to help you for a job change. Enola retracted her message. Okay, so Kara is putting out some links, as I mentioned, about the 60% off stuff today through tonight. And if you click those links and just put LOH60OFF in at the checkout, there's right up at the top, there's a coupon code BOX. It'll drop the price from $247 to $98. All right. I think Selinator Squad, Swati from India, how are you? I'm a semi-qualified, I love that, chartered accountant, having good 5 years experience in legal and secretarial compliances in a mediocre CA firm. What profile to look for in which industry? Oh my, I'm not even sure what you're asking there, Swati. I'm really not sure what you are asking. If you can clarify your question, head to the bottom, and I will pick it up here shortly. Dave Wired, great to see you. Let me toggle my timestamps, folks. Oh, I see. Actually, apparently, oh wait, that's a different one. Enola, Do you have a good way or a video on how you would update your LinkedIn profile? I actually have a couple of things, Enola, on the LinkedIn profile, and so couple of things. I have a live office hours session on how to get noticed on LinkedIn. It is about how I would put my LinkedIn profile together at a very high level. It is about the activity and what I would add to my LinkedIn profile to get it noticed, but the very specific how I go through and recommend that somebody lays out their LinkedIn profile, what they put in each section, how to make it attractive, and all the very detailed information. I actually do not have something that's free that does that. I have in the resume course, which today I'm offering for 60% off, I have a video that is a screen flow of my computer that literally walks you through all the sections of LinkedIn and what information to put in there, how to fill it in. It's very detailed. That's actually in the resume program. So in the resume program is the resume, the templates, whether you're a professional or a college student, the videos and the workshops that go along with that. There's also all the cover letter components and those assets, as well as LinkedIn. So the resume program covers the resume, cover letters, and LinkedIn and targeting companies. So that's the answer to that question. But if you do search my YouTube channel for LinkedIn, there are going to be a few videos that come up. Hey, Patricia from Argentina, if I remember correctly. Chris, nice to meet you from Roswell, Georgia. I don't know if I know your name, but welcome. NW8000, hello from the UK. Dave Wired, again jumping in there, helping me out. By the way, Dave Wired's a boot camper, and boot campers can practically teach this stuff, folks. All right. And Dave is sharing. I must have posted something a couple weeks ago. All right, nice W. Thanks, Andy. I'm on the East Coast. My state is newly designated as a no-ask salary state. Okay. Yes, I deferred to answer the range until I have a convo with the hiring manager. But perfect. Do not, folks. Wait, I want to spend one extra minute on this. I know it feels awkward for you not to want to give a response to the expected salary question. But trust me when I'm telling you, if you go to that video and check out my response, I want you to look down at the comments and look at all the hiring officials who said that's the best answer. These are people who hire you. Some of them run their own companies. Some of them were in hiring, are in or were in hiring capacities for a long time. I'm telling you, you don't need to worry. If you are right for the position, they are not going to let you go because you deferred a response to that question, which is a stupid question anyway, to be honest with you. All right. All right. Cliff, great to see you from Africa. Wonderful. Dave Wired's got a question. Any specific tips for finding companies to apply to when there are literally hundreds in my field and a lot of them seem like they'd be good? So, Dave, and everybody else, this is a fantastic question. Some of you, and I know Dave is in a relatively populated city, so there are probably a lot of opportunities, and now even there's lots of remote working opportunities. One of the things that I recommend is, and I did show this in how to target, I did a live office hours, and the first 20 or 25 minutes or so was a teaching segment on how to create a target company list. I would check that out. I also have a short video on how to create or how to target companies in your job search. So one is a live office hours, one is a free video on YouTube or my blog, and it walks you through what the different things are that I would do to generate that list. So those videos will help you come up with the list. Now, you are not having trouble generating a densely populated list of companies. You are in the filtering process. So in the filtering process, there's a number of things that I would look at to pare down or actually prioritize the organizations that I was looking for. And these, by the way, I'm going to give you some ideas here, but what I want you to realize is that the level of weight that I would put on the factors I'm about to share with you are going to vary based on who you are, what you do, where you live, how long you've been out of work, how much you earn, and so on. So there are a lot of different factors that you can use to prioritize which companies you should target first. Now, one of the things that I always recommend for people who are actively job seeking, you have a much better chance of getting a position at a smaller organization than a larger organization. They're more flexible, they tend to grow faster, they're more malleable as far as what the job descriptions might look like. I generally favor, this is just me, smaller to medium-sized companies. 99% of the people in the United States work for a company that is less than 1,000 people. Half of them work for companies that are less than 500 people. 50% of the working population in the US works for a company that has less than 500 people. The lion's share of the next 50% works for companies between like 500 and 1,000 or slightly over 1,000. And then there's all the big companies. So I generally favor smaller companies. I would probably favor organizations that are very much in line with what I do. If I'm a technologist, I would go and prioritize the tech companies first. Now, if you're a technologist, you can also work at a food company or a beverage company or a large whatever, and they need technologists. That's cool too. But I might target the tech companies first because they probably have more opportunities. So I would start paring down. I would factor in my other criteria, like as in geographical location, how much travel might you need or might you not need. I would look at all the companies' websites and I would look at them very quickly. I would try to get a sense of the culture. Are there employment biographies on the website, managerial biographies, employee biographies, and so on? Can I get a feel for what the culture looks like, what the offerings are, and so on? Those would be factors, and so on. And Dave and everybody else, I would do these reviews quickly. Remember, and Dave's got a list, he's just trying to prioritize it. So theoretically, he's going to target a number of companies each day in his search, whether they have openings or whether they don't have openings. I've given you free tools to target all companies, whether they have openings or not, whether you're aware of them or not. I've given free cover letters out for this, all kinds of goodies. But Dave, that's what I would do. So, and by the way, buddy, and I can say this to you because you're in the boot camp, but in the boot camp, in session 3 of the boot camp, which is the job searching session. So for those of you who are not familiar with my job search boot camp, it is my signature course. It's 5 sessions. The first session is all about starting self-awareness, positioning yourself, making sure you have your requirements, making sure all that's solid, generating your questions against your requirements, and so on, and positioning yourself to make sure that you're targeting the right career and you're targeting the right jobs. Then we go into the resume, covers, and LinkedIn. Then we have job searching. In the job searching session, the 3rd session, Dave, and for anybody else, I go through 25 or 26 points of what to analyze at the company and what you should be looking for. That's in session 3 for you. And then in session 4, which is interviewing, we revisit that to show you how to do your homework as you go into the job interviews and take it down to the next deeper level. So revisit sessions 3 and 4. And the 5th session is about all the negotiating tactics you use from the time you apply until the time you extend your counter offer for your offer to make sure you get paid what you deserve. So for you, bud, because you're in that, sessions 3 and 4 will help you prioritize that. So I hope that helps. Charles. All right. Wait, Charles is back. I don't know if this is Charles's revisit. All right. This is great. Charles, thank you for this one. Okay, so Charles Dare asking, what about a required expected salary expectation knockout question in an ATS screening questionnaire? Avoid at all costs, he's asking. Any other options for us? Okay, so Charles is saying, okay, he understands, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Charles, but I'm guessing you do. He understands that when he's asked a question by a human, what their expected salary is, he's pretty much got down his answer from what I gave you all about how to answer the what's your expected salary question. But the applicant tracking systems, and let's just talk about the ones that absolutely force you to put some kind of expected salary in. Okay, so there's a couple of options that you have when you're filling in your questionnaire. A lot of times they will say desired salary or expected salary or something like that. Future salary, they've got different nomenclature, but it's all the same. If it's an open box, it's an open field that whether it's required or not, that you get to type in. Then what I would do is I would put open or negotiable. It is a perfectly acceptable answer. You're basically with one word saying the verbal answer I gave you when you're in the interview process. That's for that cases. But that isn't always available to you. And sometimes they have a drop down that makes you choose. So I think it was Nice W75 who mentioned about getting the 60,000, 70,000, 80,000 in $10,000 increments. It's very popular that applicant tracking systems have drop-down menus that say 50,000 to 50,000 or 59,999, 60,000 to 60,999 or 69,999, and they make you pick one, and it's required. What I always recommend there is that you choose your current salary. If you are in a country, state, or whatever where they can ask you your salary history and you provide that and you put as a desired salary, so you fill that in, and you put as a desired salary your current salary, that's totally okay. You are effectively saying open or negotiable. No one in their right mind will hold you to something you put on an application where you are just saying, I'm expecting what I'm currently earning. That's what I would do, because I don't want you to take a pay cut, and I want you to answer because you got to answer to fill it in. And you are probably a high earner, but that's what I would put in. I would put in what you're currently earning, and then I would get into the interview process. I would say, I just put in my current compensation level on the applicant tracking system, and I want you to know I'm open based on all these other factors that are important to me, and I'm sure if we're right for each other, we'll be able to come to something amenable. But that's what I would do for all of you who have to fill that in. And I realize that 90% of the time, they want you to fill that in. So that's what I would do. But you're just sidestepping it. You're just sidestepping it by doing that. I hope that helps. All right. Gajendra is asking if I can check the LinkedIn profile and give feedback. Folks, and I love you all, but I have to reserve my time and effort like that for my paying Mile Walk Academy students and members who are enrolled in the resume course, for which I give guidance. And I have options if you want me to do stuff like that, and I have coaching options if you want to work with me. But I want you to know I get, 300 emails a day on people who send me their resume and want me to review it. I can't keep up. I do read all my email, and I try to respond to as many as I can. But I hope that you know that all the paying students come first, and so it's just really difficult for me to do that. All right, Angela Arguelles. I hope I said that right. I don't know, but I'm happy to have you here, Angela. Hi, Andy. Is there any good way to get feedback on how I did during an interview from the interviewer himself without sounding amateurish? And then Okay. So I'm going to reread this, and I'm going to give you a number of pieces of advice here. So Angela is asking, hi, Andy, is there any way to get feedback on how I did during an interview from the interviewer himself without sounding amateurish? So I want to give you a couple of pieces of insight here. There is getting feedback on an interviewing process, how am I doing, and all that good stuff. There's feedback when you didn't get the job. That's something else. And there's a number of ways to try to get information. Now, some people would tell you that if you solicit information about and get feedback from an interviewer or a recruiter who's handling your interviewing process, that the company is likely not going to be honest, and that you are probably not doing yourself any favors. Just be thankful that they gave you the opportunity. Thank them and say, if anything changes, feel free to call me. That's one way to handle it. I would, if we go to the beginning, I would prefer that as you go through the interviewing process, there is a way what I'm more concerned with is at the end of the interviewing process, you are surfacing during the interview whether the interviewer has any reservations about hiring you. Ultimately, Angela, what you're trying to do during the interview is make sure that you kick butt, but that when you leave the interview, there's no doubt in the interviewer's mind that you are the right person for the job. And there's a couple of ways to do that. And the tactic that I love the most isn't appropriate for every single interview, but it's appropriate for a lot of interviews. So let me take it one step further. If you are in an interview, my argument to the world and my testament to you is that you are likely qualified for the job. Otherwise, the company would not be interviewing you. Okay, so let's take some comfort in that. But then again, so are all the other candidates who are interviewing for the job. So at the end of the interview, your job is to make sure that they love you the most and want to hire you. During the interview, what usually happens is if you are qualified on paper, but you do not get hired, there is usually either somebody who's way, way better, got all the goods, maybe just outperformed you, in which case the feedback would be you just lost out to somebody who is stronger, okay? But if you are truly the right person for the job and you do not get hired, what likely happened is there was a miscommunication or misunderstanding or something, or you did not connect the dots for the interviewer as to how you satisfied what they needed at the moment. So the person who is the candidate who is able to explain to the employer how she is a great fit and provides value against what that employer needs at this moment in time is the one who's going to get the job. Usually what happens, and this is studied from more than 20,000 interviews I've conducted, not to mention many more that I've observed, there's usually a communication gap. So there's a misunderstanding on the interviewer's part that something you said they misunderstood, or something you didn't say that they made an assumption you didn't have the right skill, or you didn't know how to do it effectively, or whatever it might be. At the end of the interview, I want you to clean up those misunderstandings so that you leave no doubt in their mind that you're the right person for the job. And the way that I recommend you do that, and I write about this, give you the exact script in the interview in the interview intervention book, and I teach you how to do this, is but asking the interviewer, okay, so this is great. We've been speaking for an hour, and I realize we've only been speaking for an hour, but at this moment, do you have any reservations about hiring me? And while that may sound like you're closing them in, or it may sound like a negative question, it isn't a negative question. The point is you want to make sure that at this moment you are surfacing the reservation, because the reservation is going to come in one of three forms. They either misunderstood something you said, in which case you can now clean it up, or they made a false assumption about experience that they thought you didn't have, but you do, in which case you can now say, oh, by the way, or in your thank you email you can add it, or there is a reservation. And now you know what that is, and you can try to dampen it either right then, or in your thank you email. But that is the best way to elicit feedback. And if you don't feel comfortable asking them about reservations and you say something to the effect of, how do you think I fit? Or is there anything else you need to know about me? Or any of those very loose questions, you're going to let the interviewer escape, and you're not going to know if you nailed it. And if the interviewer says, I have absolutely no reservations, then take comfort in knowing that they're being honest, and take comfort in knowing that if you lose out on that opportunity, that you're probably losing out to a stronger candidate. So that's what I would do. I know it's very tricky. By the way, for everybody, I have a video coming up with how to get the job after being rejected. It's coming up in, I don't know, a few weeks or so. But keep an eye out for that, Angela, because there's going to be some great tactics on how, after you don't get the job, to follow up. And I give you the exact language that you should use to write the employer to resuscitate that. So anyway, I hope that helps. Enola, you're welcome. Stephanie Uzi, great to see you. L.I., I'm assuming you mean Long Island. I think that's what that is. All right, loved your book and appreciate that you take the time to help everyone each week. You are welcome. And Stephanie, you are welcome, and everybody else is welcome. You mentioned that you can bring a list of questions to the interview. I thought this wasn't allowed. Stephanie, let's, and everybody else, not only should you bring a list of questions to the interview, you will likely get dinged if you don't have them. And by the way, Stephanie and everybody else, when you get this book, there is 3 things I want to tell you about this. There's a story in here about a candidate of mine, a CIO, a Chief Information Officer, who was interviewing with a company, and he went through the entire interview process. He nailed it the whole way through. He just had to go for 30 minutes to talk to the CEO of the company. It was kind of like a meet and greet more than anything. And the CIO candidate of mine, who had been properly coached to bring in his questions, didn't. And the CEO, the Senior Vice President of Human Resources, called me when this was over, and he said, we're going to pass on your guy because the CEO felt he was unprepared and because he didn't have any questions. And so I called my candidate, and who thought it went great, and he said, well, I said, didn't you have any questions? Didn't you bring in your questions? He says, well, I had them all memorized. And I asked him about 20 questions. Well, that's great and good if you can remember all that. But being in an interview, there's a huge part which is perception, and their perception is reality. So it's not just great to be prepared. You need to physically look prepared. I wouldn't just bring in the questions. I would bring in all your research and tab it, mark it up, and all that good stuff. So yes, bring them in. The second and third thing I want to tell you about this is inside this book, in the section about asking questions, I teach you not only how to ask the questions, but I give you 39 great questions to ask. And actually, in addition to the book, when you get this book for free for $7 shipping and handling, I give you an additional ebook called How to Interview the Employer, 75 great questions to ask before you take any job. That's something I created after I wrote the book. So not only do you get the 39 from the book, you get another 36 or so questions. So grab it while I still have them, folks. And I think you'll love it. And remember, today only 60% off the interview intervention course. So you get like 3 hours worth of small bite-sized videos with the interview intervention course that takes you through all of this stuff in video form. And I also put in some self-awareness exercises as a bonus in the beginning of the interview intervention course. So you get the whole course. You also get 3 months of ongoing coaching in my Career CoachCasts, and you get to attend the interview coaching session this month in July. So take advantage of this. It's going to be $300. It's going to be a $300 course starting Sunday. So for you, it's $98 today. There's my little sales plug. Okay, hope you like that. All right. Okay, Selinator is saying she can't see or hear me. By the way, folks, So the YouTube stream looks pretty good. If ever something gets stuck or you see a circle in your viewer, just refresh the page and it usually will come back. If something is wrong with stream, I will see it in this little, what looks like a spaceship dashboard in front of me. So far, so good. Hope all that's going cool. And I still don't know if Charles dare drop down. And I'm just looking if he maybe he's typing feverishly the differences between what JobScan said and what I said. All right. Raj Patel. I recently had a phone interview and I couldn't answer 2 technical questions. Overall, it was good. Hiring manager told me that she liked my background and skills. Beautiful. Just because you can't answer a couple technical questions, anytime you guys have questions that you don't know the answer to, in this book, there is a question that shows you exactly how to handle when you don't know how to answer something. Get it? All right. Zombie review. Question mark. You're right. Okay, that's cool. That starts out good. I am a health and safety guy. I got a pretty good memory for my people. I'll tell you what, this is why I love doing this live stuff every week. You guys, first off, you need to give yourselves a pat on the back because first off, job searching is hard and you're bettering yourselves and you're whether you're watching my videos or you're enrolled in my courses or you're showing up here on Thursday or you're doing all of it. You are actually quite, I know I'm sure some of you are so stressed out, but you're rare. You're in the top 1% of all humans that walk the planet in the level of effort that you are willing to put in to better your life, better your career, better yourself. So trust me, that is never lost on me. And I genuinely appreciate your attention because I know there are a ton of wonderful career coaches that are out there. And the fact that you're spending time with me and you're trying to improve warms my heart to no end. I'm serious. And so the zombie review, my health and safety engineer, I'm glad you and everybody else are here with me. All right. My industry. So the question is, the zombie review says, you are right. I am the health and safety guy. My industry is more referral than resume, all about who you know, haven't interviewed in a long time. Any tips to have confidence in the interview? Love this question, and let me tell you why. Now, health and safety guy, I'm only speculating here, so forgive me. This is not a bias thing. For some reason, I don't know whether I'm just assuming this or whether you mentioned this in one of the YouTube comments or something. I'm guessing you've been working in oil and gas for a long time. And the first thing that I want you to know is if that's true, I have a live office hours that I really hope you watch called Why Your Job Search is Taking So Long. It's not to be funny or anything, but I go into the reasons why tactically folks are not aligning their activities with their demographic. Now, I'm going to get to the part about the industry here in a second. What most people do is they don't align their work or job search effort in accordance with the activities that will likely lead them to their next job. So depending on who you are, where you live, what you do, how old you are, how much you earn, and so forth, determines whether you're likely to find your job through an online means, through networking, or something like that. Now, in your case, if my assumption about your age puts you in a higher bracket like me, I'll be 52 here pretty soon. If you're in your say 40s or 50 or over, you have a 46% chance of finding your job through somebody you know. That's just anybody. That's not just oil and gas. That's just anybody. Okay. Now, the one thing I don't know if I told you last week is for the first 10 years of my life, I was for the first 17 or 18 years, I was an information technology and management consultant. For the first 10 of those, I specialized in technology in the oil and gas industry. So I had a lot of oil and gas clients like Amoco, British Petroleum, Shell, Tenneco, Texaco, Koch Industries, and so on. And I know that that industry itself is a, there's a lot of relationship building required for you to be effective. It's also, there are a lot of companies in the South, and I mean this in a positive way. In the South, people like the brothers and sisters, and that's cool. I love it. So you've got to adapt to that and make sure that you are networking effectively. So the first thing I would do is watch why your job search is taking so long. The second thing that I would do is I put a video out there about networking called Business Networking, How to Build Professional Relationships. I would check that out. And then I also, for your confidence question, I have a video out there about how to boost your job interview confidence. And I would watch that. And it has a lot to do with your knowledge of your subject matter, your preparation in the anticipation of those questions, and so on. Now, Zombie Review, I don't know if you grabbed this book yet, but inside this book, I take you through the most probable interview questions, why they're asked, variations of those questions, what the employer is looking for, and the very best responses. That's behavioral interview questions, it's situational interview questions, it's all kinds of stuff. And if you grab this, which I hope you do, and you go through that, it's chapter 6, I think, chapter 6. And by the way, I didn't even number the chapters in here. I just titled them. But I think it's chapter 6 about my silver bullet interview and just how to go through that. I think that will raise your confidence tremendously. And as a health and safety engineer, I'm guessing you probably know your stuff. So I hope that helps. I know I kind of gave you more than just answering that specific question, but I think there's a bigger picture here. And to me, and I mean this for all of you, and I hope you know this, I know you asked me a specific question about having more confidence in the interview, but every single time I try to answer one of your questions, I recognize that your ultimate goal is to get a job that you love or accelerate your career. So I want to give you the context around how to do that and answer your questions. So I hope that helps. All right. Oh, okay. Kara is mentioning that she says you might want to clarify what's included in the course. People are emailing her because she wants to know if. Okay, let's just clarify this here really quick. I'm offering you 2 courses today for 60% off. They're separate courses. One is a resume course. The resume course has everything related to building your resume, writing your cover letters. I give you all the templates. I walk you through. There's videos in there. There's a workshop and all kinds of good stuff. And there's your LinkedIn profile and all the demonstration. And I literally get down to the nitty gritty. That's what's included in there in the resume program. The resume program also comes with a special workshop that's resume related that you get to join. The other thing is you also get 3 additional months of ongoing monthly coaching in that particular program with me in my monthly career coaching. That's the resume program. The interview program is everything interview related. It's everything related to your self-awareness and all of that good stuff, coming up with your requirements. It's everything you need to do related to the interview, and it's not just how do you answer a bunch of questions. There's videos related to every single imaginable interviewing thought. So who am I? What do I need? How do I ask it? All the way through how do I prepare for the interview, my 65 steps to prepare, all that good stuff. To what are the questions? How do you answer them? And everything. How do you thank the employer after the interview? How do you negotiate your salary? All that. That's in the interview course. But the interview course is separate than the resume course. So you can get both of them today for less than $200, which is a great deal. And with the interview course, you also get to come to a special interview coaching session in July and 3 additional months like the resume program. So you'd get 6 months in my coaching if you bought both of them. And they're all 100% money back guaranteed. So I hope that helps. I love that you got questions because it shows me you're interested, and you know, you can always take them for a test drive. If you don't like it, I mean, we do not have a high return rate. I mean, I gotta believe it's way smaller than what I know the other trainers have told me are their return rates. So I feel pretty good about that. But all my stuff is 100% guaranteed. So I hope that helps. And Kara, let me know if I got that. And she's sending me some other things. I'm wondering if here. Okay, I think I got that. So Stephanie, I hope that helps. I hope you jump in. Love to have you. I know you've been I know a lot of you have been avid followers. And when you get into Mile Walk Academy, I can help you on the deepest level. I am here with you. By the way, one other thing. I answer all the questions. So when you join my programs, I answer the questions. No one else answers the questions. Kara might help. You might see her every now and again if you've got some system issues or other things like that. But when you're looking for content knowledge on this, your recruitment process, your job search, and all that good stuff, I answer all the questions. So you have access to me through any of the courses. So, and you don't have to pay monthly subscription for that. You have lifetime access to me if you buy a course for $98.80. So that's pretty cheap, I would think, for the rest of your life, or the rest of my life at least. I hope you think so. I don't know. I think that's a pretty good deal. All right. Okay, Raj is asking a question. Raj, give me those question marks, buddy. Okay. It says, but she is looking for a manager level, and I do not have that. Should I follow up or no? You should always follow up, no matter what. Okay, Chris Viola, let's see what you got. Chris Viola, I say you asked me, or somebody asked me this question last week. This is a fantastic question. You must be a sales guy. Chris, I don't know if you're I don't know if you're a guy or a girl. But Chris Viola asks, what's your opinion on cold calling potential employers? Do you recommend it? I do not. Okay, I love that you are, Chris, I love that you are aggressive enough to pick up the phone and call the employers. I am a huge fan of calling the employers to find out who you should send something to, as in an email, a resume, a cover letter, or mail them something. That's cool. But no one, and I mean nobody, picks the phone up anymore. And if they do pick the phone up by some miracle, now they have absolutely no context on who you are and are going to get you off the phone really quickly. Because when somebody, okay, so I'm a recruiter, and after this session, I'm going to go and I got a whole bunch of recruitment calls, interviews with people. And those were pre-designated. And I have their backgrounds, or I at least understand and have their LinkedIn profile, or so for some of them I have their resumes and so on. But if you call me and you even leave a message about who you are, before I do anything, I actually have to look you up, and I have to see if I should return your call or not. And that's a lot of steps that people have to go through. And I may not, there might be a whole lot of Chris Violas out on LinkedIn or Spoke or Jigsaw or wherever I'm going to try to go and find you. And so I don't recommend it, because people don't like to have no context when they're on the phone with folks. So no, I would not recommend that, but I would. What I do like, though, is I do like you calling to find out, hey, who's in charge of that position? I want to send that person something or whatever, or where would I send an email? And by the way, I have articles on the Mile Walk blog, on my Tips for Working Life blog, that talk about how to break the rules when you job search and how to bypass the applicant tracking system. Those are articles, not videos or podcasts. I actually will turn them into videos at some point. But Chris, try that. Hope that helps. All right. H. King. All right, wait. This is, I think Kara was mentioning that when I get to H. King, there are 3 parts to the question. Okay, this is, All right, so folks, I'm off the page. I'm on my iPad here, looking at what Kara slacked me from H King. So bear with me here. I think this is it, right? Oh wait, this is different. Sorry, disregard. H King, this is H King. Good morning, Andy. What is the best tactic for when you've gone far in the interview process and then get rejected? What is the best way to get information as to why you were rejected? Okay, so I don't have any, so H King and everybody else, and we just got done talking about gathering information and feedback. So I am a fan of, it's okay to politely ask, hey, so here's what I would do. I would be very casual. I do mean that. I would be casual with the employer. If you've gone through a process and you've invested a bunch of time, hopefully you've built up a strong enough relationship with the recruiter, the HR person, or whoever to be able to say to them, hey, I'm just curious, is there any feedback that you can give me or any reason why I didn't get the job? That's fine. Don't make a big deal out of that. And then gather what you can, but don't be bummed if they just say, we didn't